Welcome back to the show. Our next guest is renowned for handling divorces and civil litigation, as well as bankruptcy and criminal defense cases, and much more. He's been driven by a central mission, which is offering affordable, high quality legal services to those that otherwise may not be able to so afford it. His firm also uses proprietary software to assist clients preparing for uncontested divorces so that they can file at a low cost. We're pleased to be joined by more with attorney Herb Cabrera. And Herb, good to have you.
Thank you for inviting us, Mr. Jaime.
Thank you. And so, listen, to really get at it, I was taken not aback, but just interesting to find out that divorce can be such a long, lengthy, and laborious process. But now there's the ability to have automated, uncontested divorces, and I thought that was quite interesting. So this is the way of the future, huh?
Absolutely. The future, I mean, we started this process. We had some software created for our firm back in 2005. So we've actually been doing it for about 16 years already. It's just that the public doesn't know about it. And our intent from the very beginning is to make it, as you indicated in your intro, to make it affordable for the public at large. When two people already have an agreement to divorce, why, and this is our motto, why should the lawyer stay with your money? If you guys already decided on who gets the children, who's going to get custody of the children, how much of the spousal support is going to be paid, and division of other property, why go through the painstaking process of a contested divorce in court where it's going to cost you tens and tens of thousands of dollars, And so we make it very, very affordable, and I'm proud of that because there's no need otherwise for the people to get into such a costly endeavor.
Yeah. And so we know that it can be costly. We know that it can be time consuming. So how does one actually go through the process? Give us a little bit about how this works.
Yeah, so we created a web-based program so that people can actually log on to gonylaw.com, and you'll see there it has we provide a number of services. The ones that we're prominently focused on in that web page would be the uncontested divorces, corporations, as well as bankruptcies. People have financial worries as well, and so we make the process very easy for them. And again, very competitive pricing because it's geared to the public, to the members of the public that don't have a lot of funds to pay on the lawyering process. So once you log on, it'll give you and the divorce. If you click onto divorces, it'll take you through an information page, and then you log on, and it'll ask you a series of about 6 or 8 questions to see if if you're a good candidate for an uncontested divorce. For example, who would not be a good candidate for this particular software? It would be for the people that you can't locate where your spouse lives, either your husband or your wife, because you have to serve them with papers. Or the people that have not reached an agreement with regard to custody of the children if they have children. People that have not reached an agreement with regard to the disposition of a house or home. So all those cases would have to go to court and have to be litigated in that forum. But for the people that have, as I indicated earlier, have already the mindset of, yes, my husband or my wife is in agreement, I have agreed to the terms of the divorce, let's reach an agreement, let's file the papers. Now, what makes it easy, and I should tell you this, Mr. Jaime, that when I started this process, I started practice back in 1984. I worked in the DA's office in Manhattan. Then I went into private practice years later. When I first started, I did my first uncontested divorce. It's a nightmare because there's a thick number of pages that you have to handle. And I'm telling you, even for the lawyers, it's just not cost effective. And so if you're just a member of the public, it's a daunting task to fill out all that documentation and then to follow up. Because what happens is, if you submit the paperwork on your own, inevitably, and I say 95 to 99% of the time, you're going to get a defect, means that you did something wrong and it's going to delay the whole process. But we take all that pain out. Think about it. I mean, what do I charge? $495 is my legal fee. And I have to prepare the paperwork. I have to review it. I have to file it in court. And if there's a defect, I have to go back there. That's why a lot of lawyers don't do it. And we deal with it because it's volume oriented.
When we talk about it, it's so many people out there who are going through divorce. We know that 50% of American households actually end up in divorce. And when it gets to the place of being uncontested, what are you seeing coming across your desk? Are you seeing more and more people go the uncontested route, or are they still toughing it out in the other court?
Yeah, I mean, they are. Everybody's reaching an agreement because they understand it. And I'm not making up this story. I know that people are going to say this is crazy. I actually met a lady who paid, get this, the case was pending, I asked her, in Long Island for just approximately 2 years. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Mr. Jamie. You tell me how much she wound up paying for this contested divorce with her husband. Give me a number. 2 years pending. It settled right before trial.
2 years pending, maybe what, $10,000?
That was very, very close. $240,000. 240 she
What?
paid. Yes. And she was happy about it. She was smiling because they had assets, but it was
Right.
$240,000, almost $250,000. And so it doesn't happen like that at that large scale in the inner city, but you still get people, that are paying 20, $30,000 on a divorce. And my mantra is, why do you do that? If you guys, I always tell people when they come here to really resolve it between yourselves, because when there are children involved, and let's not lose sight of that, they pay a price, if the parents are bickering and fighting. So, while we don't mind divorcing people, we still have the human aspects of it, wanting to people to get along. I mean, I'm a human being and a member of the human race. I don't want bickering. I want the children to grow up in a good home where they know their father, where they know their mother, when they can partake of that relationship. We just make the process easier for them.
Yeah.
So
And so, well, give us this real shortly. What advice do you have for people who may definitely be close to having that uncontested divorce, but still is fighting it out between both sides? What advice would you give?
well, number one, they should, and I'm going to self promote here if you don't mind, but they should call me at 718-439-3600. I'm a city kid. I grew up in Brooklyn. I got a neighborhood practice, and I'm so excited to be able to service. Because don't forget, I mean, the bottom line is, we all need to make a living, including myself, obviously. But I don't like making a living on the backs of my clients. They leave here exceedingly happy. Think about it. As I indicated earlier, all I make is $495. That's good enough for lunch and dinner on one, depending on where you go, and that's about it. But we're volume oriented. I tell the people, look, reach out to me because they say, oh, I don't know. And I always encourage them to talk to the other side, try to work out their differences, you know, and inevitably because once you tell them, look, you're gonna wind up paying $10,000, $20,000 on this divorce, then they come to the table and say, let's see if we can work it out. And I always counsel them, it doesn't have to be to me. Go to the lawyer that you do trust and try to work it out. Just make sure that if you have everything worked out, don't get into the uncontested realm. It's just not worth it and it's too costly. But sometimes you have no choice. So I don't want to mislead the people. Sometimes you absolutely have no choice. You have substantial assets where one person, one spouse doesn't want to give it up, or there's no agreement on custody. I've seen this often where the husband says, okay, you can have custody of the children, but I'm only going to pay you $200 a month in child support. Well, that's nonsense. As you know, it's based on the income of the parents. You have to, if it's one child, is 17%. And so our program creates all that. So we charge extra if you have to have a stipulation of settlement with property. I don't want to mislead the public because it gets very convoluted. If you need a stipulation of settlement to dispose of property, so that there can be extra charges. But in addition to that, and I see that people go on to legal Zoom a lot, they prepare the paperwork. They don't get it. You prepare the paperwork. Good luck taking it to court. Good luck doing the follow up on it. And they've already charged you for their services. We are responsible for the entire process, and we form corporations at prices that are competitive with any service out there, and we do tons of bankruptcies as well. So I'm proud of the service we provide to the inner city folks.
Well, Herb, I'm gonna tell you, you are a bona fide lawyer because you definitely sold your case there. Herb Cabrera, thanks so much for being with us here on Open. Glad to have you and talking about this particular topic.
What a pleasure to appear on your show, and stay safe, and may God bless you.
God bless you too. All righty. Well, listen, as he said, he doesn't want to self promote, so we'll self promote for him and give more information. Go ahead and give him a call or visit the website at gonewyorklaw.com or reach him on phone 718 439. Let me say it again, 718 439 3600.